Hey guys, if my eyes are red, I just had a mental breakdown. So yeah, I'm gonna be since the last video. Since the last video did so well, I'm gonna do another reaction video and another. If you want a channel called A First React, then comment down below, and then we're gonna react into 10 lies we learned in school. I mean, I'm still in school, but let's do this together, guys.
Some people see our shoes.
The heck are those? Oh, those are birds. Who the heck is that?
As a blank canvas. Makes sense. They're canvas.
Yeah.
And we sell shoes to people that draw on shoes.
Yeah.
So when kids started doodling across the sidewalk.
Hello guys, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the most amazing top 10. My name's Danny Burke, Instagram down there, and this is the channel where we take and wonderful things from all over the world and turn them into a nice little top 10 list so you guys don't have to. And today, we've got the top 10 lies we learned in school. Now just to be clear guys, teachers or textbooks that taught us these things might not have been intentionally lying to us. With the knowledge we have today, we certainly can't call them the truth anymore. So let's look at 10 of these school lesson misconceptions and jump into this like we always do guys with our number 10, the fact that we don't have 5 senses.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Taught in school that humans have 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch and smell. Although there's no doubt that these are senses, they are not the full story. Some neurologists believe there could be anywhere up to 21 different distinct human senses. These include your sense of balance, organic senses such as hunger or thirst, and lesser known senses such as proprioception, which is your brain's knowledge of the relative positions of your body parts. My way of describing that sense is when you first wake up, you instantly know where your different limbs are without having to see, taste, touch or smell them. And if you can smell your limbs when you wake up, I think you might need a shower, my friend. On to number 9.
Or you go to the doctor.
Guys, who was the first European to discover the Americas? If you said Christopher Columbus, I'm afraid your school let you down big time.
Columbus
sailed the ocean blue in 1492. That's the phrase parroted by school children across the world, teaching them that Christopher Columbus set sail from Spain and was the first European to set foot in the Americas. But it was actually the Vikings who were the first to reach North America, with settlements in Newfoundland, modern-day Canada, and even evidence of trading with the Native Americans they came into contact with. They were there around 1000 AD, which means Columbus and the history lessons you had were almost 500 years too late. Alright, moving on now guys. If you're watching this video, you're probably not too far from a light bulb, but at number 8, you'd be wrong to think Thomas Edison invented it.
Yeah, I don't think he invented that either.
Can often be hard to credit to one person, but if you had to give it to anyone, give it to Humphrey Davy and Joseph Swan. They both developed working electric lights well before Edison, but it was Edison who was credited with developing the first commercially viable electric light. He discovered that by using carbonized bamboo as a filament for the bulb, a bulb could glow bright, last a long time, and be cheap to make. It was that last factor, the cost, that made his patent the most popular version of the light bulb, which is why a lot of people give him sole credit for the invention. Interesting stuff. So let's move on to number 7, and I want you guys to complete the sentence. You are as blind as a
bat.
If you said bat, I'm afraid you're wrong. It was often taught to us in school that bats only use echolocation to get around as their eyesight is so poor from evolving in dark caves. The truth though is that all bats have eyes and are capable of sight. Various types of bigger bats can even see 3 times better than humans, and almost all bats in the megabat or fruit bat family cannot even echolocate and have excellent night vision. They have large bulging eyes and rely on them solely to locate their food. So next time you guys meet someone that says bats are blind, tell them to just open their eyes. Pun intended. At number 6, when you were learning about gravity at school, this guy was probably brought up. Isaac Newton. He's credited with coming up with the universal law of gravitation, which is the basis of how we understand gravity today. Big stuff. But many people are taught that the idea just hit him one day, quite literally, when an apple fell from a tree and onto his head. It's not a million miles from the truth, but Newton actually just...
Guys, don't trust nobody that has that white wig on, bro. Like, what? So you're telling me, guys, but An apple just fell out on his head. I missed. Did the apple just fall on his head like this? How much time you got?
Witness
apple just fall on his head like this.
From a tree in his mother's garden. After seeing how the apple always
Like
falls
what?
in a straight line to the ground, he went and developed his theory. I'm glad we cleared that up. And would you look at the time? We're already halfway through now at number 5, and we're going to be talking about Vincent van Gogh's ear. A lot of us
Didn't that young get like bitten off?
art class that famous Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh cut his left ear off and gave it to a prostitute. He apparently did this after having a huge fight with his friend, who was also an artist. The truth that has come to light in recent years is that it was actually Vincent's friend who did it. He was an avid fencer who drew his sword when the two were having an argument, and somewhere along the lines he took a swipe and accidentally cut off part of Vincent's ear. But letters between Vincent and his brother after the event seem to point to the fact that instead of him reporting this to the police, Vincent decided to make up the story about him doing it himself in order to save his friend from jail time. Well, it seemed to fool the police way back then, and it still seems to fool a lot of people even to this day, because 100 years after the event, people still wrongly think that Vincent cut his own ear off. Now though, we're at number 4, and we're going to be talking about how many states of matter there are. Most people were taught at school that there are just 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. Everything in existence falls under these categories. Although they are the most well-known, they are not the full picture. There's all kinds of different states that matter can be in. Plasma can be found in everything, from neon signs to the inside of stars. Liquid crystals have molecules that are ordered like a solid but behave like a liquid, and the list goes on and
Yeah, that's
on,
messed up. They be
including
lying.
those Einstein
Very
condensates
nasty,
and superfluids, to name but a few. I think it's fair to tell kids that there are 3 states of matter, but I think we should at least hint that there are others out there.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'll end up like me, a grown man who only just found this fact out today. Now then guys, we reached number 3, and we're going to be talking about the misconceptions between tongues and taste. Does this tongue map look familiar to you?
No.
It claims to show
I don't know what the heck that
your
is.
mouth that are responsible for all kinds of different tastes. Bitter at the back, sour on the sides, salty in front of that,
And
then
sweet.
sweet right at the front. It first appeared in 1942
Mr.
at
Sweet,
Harvard
the fruit.
University after a man called Edwin Boring, yes, that's his real name,
Edwin
misinterpreted
Boring.
a German study and drew the first tongue map. Before anyone knew what was going on, they found their way into countless biology textbooks all over the world. We now know that the entire surface of your tongue is responsible for detecting all kinds of different tastes.
Yeah,
At number
what?
2 now, we
Why
all
would
know
it
that
be
diamonds
certain
live
parts?
forever,
Like what?
but if
A
you think
diamond?
that
Diamonds are not
can't
rare
coal,
at
well,
all.
I'm afraid you're wrong, but don't worry because I thought that too, so we can both be wrong together. Coal is made up from the
I didn't
carbon
think
remains
that,
of
so-
ancient plants that
but-
lived up to
Yeah,
450
wrong.
million years ago. The thing is, most diamonds on the planet date back to before 542 million years ago. That means most of the diamonds ever made were already diamonds almost 100 million years before the first ancient plants ever appeared to eventually form coal. So most diamonds aren't made from coal, but you can
That's the
use
new one?
coal to make torches, or so I've heard. Alright guys, so
Minecraft.
at number 1, we're going to be talking about how the greenhouse effect is caused by global warming.
I don't know what
Or
they're talking
not.
about.
Now guys, don't get it twisted, global warming is a real thing, and all the evidence seems to point towards humans being to blame for the rising temperatures of Earth, but somehow the greenhouse effect got lumped in with all of that along the way. The greenhouse effect is an absolutely essential part of nature that involves our atmosphere trapping some of the radiation heat that hits our planet and bouncing off and absorbing it instead. This makes the atmosphere and our planet a lot warmer than it would be without any
greenhouse
atmosphere at all, which gives us
That
the
sounds
climate
scary.
needed to
What the
sustain
heck?
life. It's a totally natural process, but it's when humans release too many greenhouse gases into the atmosphere that we really start to create a problem. But that's something for a whole other video. Alright guys, that's all we got time for. Did you learn anything new from this video?
Okay, guys, so if you learned something new, make sure to comment down below. And it's A1ST out. And if you don't want to tell your teacher that we learned something new today in A1ST class, then make sure to just tell them that A1ST has taught us something new today. It's A1ST out. Peace.